man, got that tractor beam out of commission, or this is gonna be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
Hey there, everyone. Sorry for the delay, a little technical difficulties on my side. Hopefully we got it all worked out. Jason, you good?
Yeah, still sounds a little choppy, but it should be good.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I sound fine on my end, and you sound fine on my end. So we'll just kind of go with it and see where we're at. We have a couple people already watching. Just to show, just to get on. We haven't been on in a while and talked to. We've been very, very busy with a lot of stuff, and thought we'd just get on and talk about some models that we're working on and some models that are showing up. But yeah, how you been, Jay?
Good.
Yeah, it's a new background.
Yeah.
Are you at your house or?
I'm in the underbelly.
The basement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She kicked you down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a hotel room in New York, and I'm actually in New Jersey right now, but yeah, I gotta work tomorrow, so it always works out nicely that we do a show while I'm away, because then I can be singularly focused. It's hard for me to focus on one thing and stay focused on one thing when I have 100 million things going on around me. So I wasn't sure if we were gonna do this tonight because, dude, I this morning, I started training again for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And it's the first time back in like 3 years, right? And I'm an old man, I'm getting up there. So I went today, thought, all right, I did pretty good. I didn't do too bad, Come home, man, kick my freaking ass. Like I was hurting. My whole body hurt. Like I needed to take a nap. Like, oh man, I was just like, oh my god. It'll get better, but man, the first time is so freaking brutal.
Yeah, I mean, without getting into too much detail, I had a pretty rough day today too, but
yeah.
So.
Well, mine was just physically old man. That's it. But yeah, I've been training and competing since like 2015, was it? Took the last 3 years off, basically since COVID. Really, that's when I really stopped training hardcore. But like I'm getting older, and I in the morning I feel like crap, and my body hurts when I get out of bed. So I feel like if I do this, I'll feel a lot better. Plus, can choke some of my friends. I can picture your face while I'm choking one of my buddies at the gym.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Yeah. So, yeah. Have you had much time to work on anything, brother?
Yeah, I got a fun little project I'm knocking out now. A lot of cleanup work. It's 3D print. It's a gentleman named Rod. He's actually in a couple of the groups. I told you he had posted a picture yesterday of the Rebel fleet ships. I don't know the name of the individuals, but he had this interesting piece. I forget the name of it. I was trying to show you pictures. I think it's from Mando, right? And it's got like this kind of like I don't know, it's like this falcon kind of look to it. But the only thing was, and I'm not saying this negatively, but it was a 3D print. So via pictures, it looked like a nice print, like a nice high-end print. When I got it in person, as you know, some of the finer detail were really gritty and uneven. And my idea was like, this is a piece that if I focus on, I can get this done in a timely manner. But man, I've been putting a lot of elbow grease into this thing, and it's tough, man. It's tough, but I'm looking forward to the end product only because it's a unique piece, and I think overall it's going to be a interesting looking chip once it's finalized. But yeah,
Which chip again?
what is it?
Which chip is it?
The name escapes me, and because I'm on my phone, I can't like grab it and look it up. But something
What's
like
it
it's
in?
called like the Marauder or something like that.
Uh, is it, it's a background chip?
No, it's actually it's not a background chip. I wasn't familiar with it, but I guess it's used quite a bit. There's one that's like gray with like a red outline. There's one that has like a blue outline. There's a few of them. This one I'm doing in just gray. And I'm probably gonna do like a little bit of subtle weathering. That was the agreement I had with the gentleman who owns the ship, where he didn't want to go too heavy. So I was like, we won't make it perfectly clean, but we'll kind of give it a little splash of what's it called of weathering here and there. But yeah, it's I mean, I gotta say it was designed well. I'll give credit because it was definitely designed well. The way whoever 3D printed this definitely cut it or printed it in sections that made logistical sense. But just at the end of the day, it's a 3D print, right? And initially we were just gonna go with, priming it, painting it, and assembling it. But then after some like compare and contrast. I'm like, this is what it would look like, partially clean. This is what it would look like, not cleaned at all. Then he
Right.
decided, all right, if you don't mind, we'll go cleaning it a little bit. Um, and then I just got a few things that I finally finished up, that are actually things that got to go out after 4.5, 5 weeks of nonstop rain and floods and streets broken up and streets unaccessible roads, and it got hit pretty bad. It was pretty gnarly, but got to get a few pieces out, and yeah, just that, and still cracking away on reverse engineering and figuring out the B wing, and then just doing some mini side projects, collecting kits, seeing what's out there.
Hmm.
I'm getting ready.
Just if somebody's if guys are listening, just let us know how the sound is. Somebody said it was choppy earlier, but just give it. Everything sounds good to me. Like I don't know, but could be me a little. So who knows? Um, yeah, that
Oh,
you. I'm
speaking of
now. I
traction,
remember you.
yeah, real
Now,
quick, I
now
was
I
gonna say in the next I think we were starting a little tie bomber build in the group. That'd be next.
Yeah, I wish I could have got in on that. They say it's still choppy. I'm gonna sign out. Sign back in. You keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So while Chris is signing out, yeah, I've just been finishing up a couple different projects. One being a Y-wing, which ironically was built a long time ago, not a long time ago, but built over the last year. It was completely finished, and then I went back and revisited that for some very specific reasons. And then it's too bad I had a really nice surprise that was being tacked onto that, but I think that's gonna get scrapped. And yeah, just research, some due diligence. I think Chris is currently working on the McQuarrie X-wing that I did some design work and some consulting with for Merlin Models. I think he's enjoying that build, so I'm excited to see how that comes out, and hope he does that piece justice. I think that'll be a good one. And those should actually be shipping not too far off. Um, I don't want to quote anything specific, but I think in the next 3 to 5 months, 3 to 6 months, possibly sooner. Um, yeah, just working away on some different things. The 3D print I was talking about with Chris, It's not that I've never worked at 3D prints before, I have, but we tend to shy away from them only because they can be very brittle, even if they're done on really high-end printers, really high-quality printers. They can still break and shatter pretty easily when you're trying to, run wires, install lights. With resin, you can take a Dremel to it all day and chop it up and repair it if you break it. But repairing 3D prints gets a little tricky, gets a little difficult. But yeah, this one's been fun. This one's been interesting. And the person that I'm doing it for has been pretty patient. He's been asking for some updates, but a lot more elbow grease going into it, a lot more cleanup work than expected. So I think I'm gonna wait a few more days before I show anything.
I'm back. You sound better?
You are back. Sound a little better. Still a little
Sound
choppy,
better.
but you sound better.
Damn it. I don't know what else to do. That's kind of what it is.
That's okay.
Hoping the tandem from Merlin ships soon. Is that the next one that's shipping, or is it the
I thought that
ATST?
I thought the Tantive was already in the process of, if not shipping, like shipping notices, and I thought it was on its. I think it's on its way, right? Tantive, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Here's the
I thought it
here's
was the
the thing.
second one that was good.
Good. No, good.
I thought it was the second one, wasn't it?
I think so. I know they offer files on that one. Again, I could be wrong. But here's the thing with Merlin. I know, and we mentioned this to each other the other day. I know that everybody's like, hey, the AT-AT ships, they looked great. They were a great build. But it's been a while. But I do know, as the next few pieces start to ship, they're all going to be close together. So it's not like the ATST is going to ship and then you're waiting a year for the Macquarie X-Wing and then you're waiting a year for the next piece. I think as the next batch of 3 or 4 pieces ship, they're all going to be within months of each other. Again, don't quote me on that. You'll probably get better info from the Merlin models. The upcoming new website, also the Discord if you haven't joined it. But with that said, I'm pretty confident that they're working hard to make sure that as things start shipping, they ship out closer to each other instead of being so far apart, which would be good.
Really good. My internet is messed up, dude.
And I was sharing with them, Chris, that I know you haven't decided if you're going to break them up into smaller videos or a little bit of a longer video, but you're currently working on the Merlin Macquarie X-Wing, and that I was just saying that I have confidence that if anybody's going to build it and do it right and do me proud, it'll be you. I think we lost him again. All right, guys, looks like you're hanging out with me tonight. Factory for boxing shipping. Yeah. Okay, so no notice yet on those. Yeah, I do. I do know they're working diligently to get that stuff hashed out. But I got to tell you, man, even though people have been very patient with waiting for some of these pieces to ship, what they're able to accomplish and what they're able to get done on some of these pieces is just it's amazing. And I'm really looking forward to these continuing. So yeah, I'm glad that people are patiently waiting and looking forward to them.
I'm gonna try going without video. See if that helps at all.
Okay.
Jason,
Yeah, I can hear you.
you hear me right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. To me, you're kind of like stopping and starting because my internet must not be so good. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just letting you talk. I
You
don't
hear
want
me?
to cut you off.
No, don't cut me off. I want to see if you're choppy for me or not.
Oh yeah.
So just
Yes, it's still a little choppy, but it's all right. We
even
can
my
we can work with it.
even my sound is choppy right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, we'll have to reschedule or something. Go back when I get
Okay.
home or something.
We can. Yeah, we can do that.
See how it goes. Let me know how it goes so far. But if I can't,
Yeah.
I
So
can't.
it's tolerable. It's not too bad for what are we at? Tuesday evening at 11 o'clock. That's all right.
Yeah. I you think it would be much better. You know, I'm at a good hotel. Should be good. Didn't even give me the option to upgrade. It just sort of already connected me like right away. So usually I upgrade when I come to a hotel.
I feel like a lot of times when you're in a hotel, it might also be the area because I know sometimes for work you're off the beaten path. That sometimes contributes to it, right? But I feel like a lot of times when you're in a hotel, because usually when I'm in a hotel, it's like in a major metropolitan city.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like sometimes when
I'm
you're
in
in
the
a hotel,
Meadowlands.
the internet's a little choppy.
Yeah, mine should not be. I'm in the Meadowlands, right? New Jersey. So it is what it is. Um, I basically missed everything that was said. So um, carry on with what you were saying, and I'll just jump in.
Yeah, just talking about Merlin, people being patient with the shipping. That I think um they're looking to try and have the pieces shipped close together, but even if that doesn't work out as planned, I think it's one of those things where, good things come to those who wait because what they were able to accomplish with some of these pieces is pretty impressive, and I think these pieces are well worth the wait. I think they're quite beautiful.
Oh yeah, I have. We can we can talk about the one I have in hand, right? So right now I'm doing. They sent me their. Which one is this? This was like their first cast piece of it of the Macquarie Y X-wing, right?
Yeah, so I don't want to say there was a mistake with it, but there was some design issues that the factory didn't match to spec, and it was one of those things where like, hey, we have this test print, um, let's give it let's kind of give it a run and see how it goes as a build.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, it's a nice freaking piece. It's so clean, so well done, no cleanup, none whatsoever. I basically built it and primed it and getting ready to. I started painting it. So it's the Macquarie X-wing. I'm gonna put it up where I've gotten so far. I'm doing like a video on it and how I built it and how I'm painting it. This is where we're at right now with it. It's just with white right now. I'm gonna actually put all the color, the grays and the oranges on probably this day or two. Um, but like I said, there's no cleanup. The details are so crisp, so clean. Um, instructions are going to be banging. To kind of like just, I like also to talk about a little bit about painting it. So you and I have discussed this, and I don't know how many times I've mentioned this, but I feel like your primer color or what's under your base color
Mhm.
makes a huge difference in how your piece looks. Okay.
Does, yeah.
So as you can see, I mean, probably just looking at this picture, you can see that I base coated it in black. Okay. Now, yes, I needed a lot more reefer white to go over top of the black to make it, white, but it still has that like blackboard chalky kind of look, right? You know,
Mhm.
the chalk covers over top of the blackboard, and it gives it a certain look. Like if it was yellow underneath that, like Slave One wings, it would give it a totally different tone of like a I don't know the technical
Yeah,
color
that faded sort of
theory.
sun-stained look. Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you did gray underneath there, you'd still have a totally different kind of white, right? So I don't know, especially especially with this one. I did it with both all the two X-wings I did. I also did the black underneath, and I feel like especially with this one, it kind of almost needs the black primer coat, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I love how especially Reefer White. Like I love how it kind of takes on the properties of the base coat. So yeah, and which that was kind of a pain in the ass, but I had to go over it like 5 times with Reefer White really thin down because I was struggling with my airbrush during this whole process. But and also the other thing I was talking to you about earlier was you I there's no pictures of the top of the wings, right? So nobody it was just a concept painting, right? And a lot of people have taken their own flavor and just either did like gray stripes on top or orange stripes on top. And like I said, there's one specific one that I really liked. I didn't want to copy it, so I was trying to rack in my brain trying to find something that was kind of like Star Wars, but also a little different because I didn't want to just have the same thing as the other guy. You know what I mean? And I think I did. I haven't done it. I haven't painted it yet, but kind of going for like an Atari kind of symbol. You it's kind of retro looking, and it's I'll show you like a Atari, and then you have these as on the wings, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then doing the lines like here. Is it showing you? It's showing up on there. Lines going down like an old Challenger or something, paint job, racing stripe with lines going through it. To try to give it more of a red 3 or red 5 squares at the back instead of just little bars. Hopefully it turns out okay. I think it will, but we'll see. That's what I've been. That end, dude. I'm telling you, I'm working on these sand crawlers. Yeah, I don't think I'll do another sandcrawler um, resin kit again. There's so much work to making these things look somewhat decent. Uh, a lot of filling, a lot of sanding, a lot more filling and sanding. Things don't line up. It's been a nightmare, really. And then on top of that trying to get the base coat the way I want it to look just hasn't been fun at all. Like I said, I won't be doing any more St. Crawler resin kits after this.
Yeah.
So
I think pieces like that, are pieces of yesteryear. If there's no need to do them, then it's not worth it. Like even the piece I'm working on now, if it wasn't an interesting or unique piece, I probably would have just passed on it. But that was the only reason why I wanted to try my hand at it. But I can't think of. I mean, I don't know, the last 3, 4, 5 pieces were all done by pretty much a combination of scratch building and some cast parts and just yeah, it's tough doing the kits now.
it is.
They're almost more work than doing it from from scratch from the get-go. Um,
Absolutely.
I think I was having a more difficult time, for example, working on pieces like a snow speeder or a B-wing. I don't know, it was almost easier to start attempting the scratch builds than it was the kit builds. And like you said with the sand crawlers, it's something that you should just be able to start popping together and painting, and you're just putting so
Oh, it
much
should be.
time, effort, and energy into the work.
Definitely should be.
Yeah.
It's once you start scratch building though, you just don't want to go back to the resin kits at all. I don't consider Merlin in the same category because
Yeah, they're not
Merlin
garage kits. That's why.
they're not. They're almost like they're not scratch built, but they're almost like a store bought kind of model, like
Mhm.
where it fits together the way it should, and it's not. You don't have to do a lot of work. You don't have to do a lot of cleanup. And before I remember a couple shows we talked about it. We're like, oh, you know what? We kind of like the fact that it's a little bit of work and a little bit of elbow grease to get it the way you want it to look. And no, I'm totally against that. No, I ever since I started scratch building pieces like a lot of styrene and kit parts, I just don't want to do any more. I forget who it was, Jason. Somebody told us that maybe it was John, maybe it was Marvin or Guy or Lee. I don't remember, but somebody said the problem with garage kits is you spend so much time fixing the caster or the mold problems. Like you spend more time fixing it than fixing somebody else's work
Then
than you
building.
do building your own.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I agree. I think, I've had a few people ask questions about scratch building recently, and they're like, well, what about all like, the cuts and the accuracy and getting something wrong? I vaguely remember, not vaguely, I mean, I distinctly remember saying to somebody just about 2, 3 weeks ago in regards to the snow speeder, I said, look, it's easier to measure twice, even 3 times and cut than to have to clean that one particular piece up. Like I'd rather take
Yeah.
sheets of styrene and cut them into sections and assemble them as needed. It's just less of a headache. Um,
Yeah.
because the prep work is just, can you imagine having to like work back, like let's say you're going into a kitchen. Imagine working backwards. Like instead of coming into a fresh, clean kitchen and having all your ingredients in front of you, it's as if like, you're walking into a kitchen that's been used for 5 years, but before you can prepare any meal, you have to strip down everything, you have to degrease everything, you have to clean everything, the floors, the walls, the ceilings, like, and then you get to cook your meal. Like that's what you're doing. And
I got a better
it's
analogy
almost
for you.
easier to go in.
I got a better one for you. It's like taking a TV dinner. I don't know if they make those anymore. When I was young, you used to have those metal tin TV dinners and try to make that into a 5-star restaurant,
Yeah.
perfect meal. That's basically what it is. It's just you're trying to shine shit as much as possible.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. There's some garage kits that are good. Like Lassie Henning, he makes great ones. He really does.
Yeah, those are I agree. Those are very nice.
But the garage kits from the old days, they're not great. And and they're made better now. They just are. Lassie and Merlin and you know I don't group those in with them. But dude, seriously, I have literally spent the last month or so building 2 sand crawlers and trying to make them look somewhat presentable. And I gotta tell you, the other day, okay, so I finally got them built, right? After a month of just cursing and bitching and complaining and getting filled with dust and filling gaps that are like half an inch wide, you know what I mean? And and pouring hot water on this thing, twist it to get it sort of straight, you know? I'm like, okay, cool, I'm ready. I'm ready to start painting, right? So I start spraying it with some Tamiya primer, which is what I had. I'm like, oh god, there's mold release. Like I just like you get frustrated because it just doesn't attach. It just bubbles and pulls up, and you can't get your paint on it. And then on top of that, I get that all cleaned up, and then I spray it. And dude, I told you about it the other day. I had the worst day modeling in my short career so far. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Okay, so I go to put the base coat on, right, and I grab the wrong bottle. I'm like, all right, I thought it was roof brown. No, it was boxcar red. sprayed an entire sandcrawler in half with with boxcar red. And I thought, all right, well, I got the reddish brown good, but then I looked at the bottom, I'm like, oh Christ, it started getting really dark and more red. So that was my first mistake. So I'm like, okay. So I go back over it with white primer again. Okay. And then I start spraying the acrylic roof brown on it, right? And everything was going wrong with it, right? It was clogging up on me. It wasn't mixing right. It wasn't spraying right. It just, everything about it was just a nightmare. Okay. So then I put one of the sand crawlers down. And I thought, all right, well, it's balanced good. It fell. The whole front end came off. The whole front end. I turned around for 1 second. All of a sudden, I hear clunk. I'm like, oh man, seriously, come on. I turn around. It came off. So I had to re-glue that back on, re-putty that all up, base coat it again. Tried to use my airbrush that day again. No, I gave up. I was like, I'm done. I'm putting this down. I'm going out having a drink, and I'll try again tomorrow. Yeah, it was a pretty bad day of modeling.
I mean, those are the things you run into, and I know it seems like we talk about this a lot. I know it seems like we're beating a dead horse, but there's reasons why, you know, yeah, there's a reason why like we want to see people like Merlin Model succeed. There's a reason why when Lassie releases a batch of 10 or 12 or 15 kits, people snap them up. And there's a reason why certain things are more sought after than others. And it's not that all casts are bad casts, but people have to understand that when some of these people are making these casts are years old and they're old, they're used and abused. If you're getting a nice, fresh, clean cast, it's a lot different, right? But very rarely, if ever, you're getting that anymore. You're getting something that's been cast 40, 50, 60 times by now. And that's the problem. And working with that stuff is just it's too much of a headache.
Yeah. So the Randy Cooper kits, like every single one of them I've gotten has had some, the pink silicone stuck in little spots, and there's so many places where the detail has been taken away because the mold, the silicone mold has lost a lot of its detail. Like every time that pink silicone is stuck in your kit, that means that the next one after that is not going to have, it's going to have like this little goop of resin that you got to chisel away, just sounds like we're bitching a lot about resin kits, but it's just you get spoiled now that you start, as soon as you start scratch building things, it's like opening your eyes to a whole new world, really. You're doing your own thing. You're not fixing other problems. It's okay if you mess up. It completely is okay. Like today on my sandcrawler, I finally got my Lancaster donor kit in, and I go to put one part on, and it's, looking at the ref, it's closer to this other part than I really wanted to, but you know what? Fuck it, it's mine. It's not, I don't need to worry about it. It's never going anywhere. It's just going to be on my shelf. There's like 1/8 of an inch difference in the one side to the other. It's okay. It's mine. So no point getting all worked up and trying to figure it out and take everything apart and redo, Okay, you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, good.
I'm with it.
So yeah, but that's let's see, let me think. Is that all I have on my show? McQuarrie X-Wing. I I really want to get this Sandcrawler done because I still have a lot to do on it yet. But I'm like, I don't know, 60, 70% almost done yet with it. So I think if I wasn't taking so much time to do the inside of it, I'd be done with the outside. Plus, I'm at a point where you can only buy so many kits at a time. Each time you go to find a $20 kit on eBay, it ends up being like $30, $35 kits because of shipping and taxes and all that other crap. But
yeah, that definitely starts to become an issue, and that definitely starts to add up.
Yeah, like every time there's a new ID, okay, and every time there's a new, there's it just seems like lately the kits that I'm buying that I have to buy are like one little piece, and I'm spending $30, $40, $50 on this kit, and it's a tiny little piece that I need just one out of the whole box. Sucks, but it is what it is. If you want to use donor kit parts, but the good thing is you can use that kit. Let's say later on the line when you're scratch building your own thing, concept wise, especially. There's the concept piece that I plan on doing that I need a lot of donor kits, that I can just pillage, So
Yeah,
but
you do get a lot of bang for your buck. When people think that, you're spending copious amounts of money on these kits, they don't realize like how much they get reused across the board. But also, like you said, even if it's something that isn't actually used on something, you can put it to use for something. If you're doing, a concept piece, if you're kind of, let's say, like the upcoming Archive X contest with the droids, and you can use it for any, just let your imagination run free, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I forgot how we're doing those. I forgot about those.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I get a few things that I rendered out and sketched out on the computer, and hoping to bring one or two of them to fruition.
Yeah, there's two that I like. I like the one from Solo. I forget which ones you told me. We'll have to talk about that again. I just saw a post the other day where they had 3 different pro droids, and one in the middle was Solo. It was different. It was cool. It's gonna be fun doing those.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I haven't started on it at all. I haven't started at all, and I want to get these 2 done and out the door before I really start, getting into something like that. But I feel like, I don't know, once I get these done, I'll be able to enjoy building a little more, So, but yeah, I think that's. I'm trying to think what else I have in there. I have Slave One. I'm going to build after the Sandcrawler. I think what else? Oh, I've been working on the maquette, the Star Destroyer maquette. I've been working on that as well. I got that all together. I got it primed. I'm waiting for some beads from Marvin. He sent me some beads, and then I'm gonna paint it like it looks at the auction.
Oh, I thought you weren't. I thought you weren't going to.
Yeah. No, I always said I was going to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
That's how mine. That's how mine is. I've already started warping the tape and staining it and all that.
I don't know if I'll warp the tape and warp the styrene. I don't know if I'll go that far, but I think I've always thought that I always liked the color of it. How it's like white, and then it has the brown spots for the parts that are missing. And even the bridge and the beads have like a yellowish tint to them instead of white.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish I thought of that, remembered basically to do that from the beginning, because in the front where those 2 pieces are missing, I I actually should have put like um, liquid latex over top of the paper so that I don't have to try to paint it that color. You know what I mean? It would have just been the color of the tape. Maybe I'll show a picture of it. Do we have? Yeah, we have a picture.
I didn't even think of that.
So,
You could just mask it off. Now that I think about it.
yeah, I should have. After I did it, I was like, oh shit, I should have did it that way.
Or just put two layers of tape, and then yeah, you could put 2 layers of tape and then peel one layer up when you're done.
Put 2 layers of tape.
Oh yeah, because you're keeping it one color. You know what I mean? Put down 2 sheets and then peel one up.
Yeah, I could. Let me pull up a picture of it. There it is. Jedi. I think what I might end up, I'm either gonna have to start just paint it the color because of where I'm at now, I should say. I probably will just have to paint it the color of the tape, or maybe just glue on another piece of tape on top. I'm gonna show it right now. Stop screen. Screen. This one. Here we go. Yeah, like here. These spots. Yeah, I should have just not primed this and just sprayed it with some white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm kind of at the point where I can't cut it out now and redo it. It's all primed up. But yeah, this is I wanted to keep this color. I mean, I could just make it this color, paint it white, and try to like stain it with this color. You know what I'm saying? But I want to paint it like this. I did put this piece on over here, and I would like to find this piece. I feel like it's in the kit, but we'll see.
Yeah,
see, the beads are slightly different.
Interesting.
What's it?
It's an interesting piece.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's super simple. It's really, really simple.
Yeah.
But like I said, I wish I had put some latex on here to cover. Oh, and if you notice right here, there's a little piece of this one broken off over here too. You see that?
Which one?
See that there?
Oh yeah.
Ends are cut off. Wonder how that happened, because that's a weird way for something to break. You know, it's a cool piece. It's a lot. It feels real good, like when you're handling it too. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's scratch built. It's good.
It's nice to see a maquette in ship form. You know, we see so many of the creature maquettes, and figure maquettes, but you don't really get to see too many of the ships in maquette form.
Right. I'm just wondering, like, okay, so here, this part is gray, so that's showing the gray underneath, but these are green. These are like dark green.
Yeah, you're right. That army green, yeah.
Yeah, how did they get them so white on? And like this looks pinkish when this part is actually really. I wonder if these are cast pieces. Like this one. Like you could. I don't know. I don't know whether.
I'm not sure. There's also, if you look at this is when these are done, we should pull up a picture of a few of them, and then a picture of the one on display. Because also, if you look underneath, I don't know if you have any pictures of the bottom side, but you can see more areas with some missing parts, and and the outlines look really.
We've talked about these.
Layer.
We've talked about that. You can see there's two dark spots here, and then it looks like it goes up to here, and kind of arms are sticking out on the sides here.
Yeah.
I feel like these parts have to be in the kit. Now, is this tape here, isn't it? To hold that together, right?
Yeah.
And what is it?
You mean down
This
the
looks like,
center?
yeah, down the center.
Yeah.
I didn't add that. I did not add that. Damn, I wish I would have just sprayed it white instead of putting gray primer on it.
Then it is not accurate if you didn't do it.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll live. It is a fun little build.
Stuart says as we get good.
As we get older, kits are depleting, especially the rare ones. Yes, that's true.
Well, the other problem too, people don't realize this, is when you're talking about some of the race cars and some of the ships, the battleships, you're competing against hobbyists that want like race car hobbyists or World War II hobbyists. So
Yeah.
it's really strange when I go to buy a kit, or like there's some kits on eBay that'll be like as is, partially built, because we can just deconstruct them, and someone will be like, well, why do you I've had somebody, well, why do you want this so badly, or why you keep trying to make it? And I'm like, I don't want it for what it is. I'm going to strip it down and build Star Wars models, and they're so confused. I said, well, what do you
They don't like
mean?
to hear
And
that.
yeah, they don't like to hear, and I at least tried to explain to them, but yeah, there's a lot of enthusiasts out there that, love some of these kits for what they are. Like those Sherman tanks that are used for the Sandcrawler tracks. I mean, those are big amongst the World War II hobbyists.
Yeah, they are.
They go for serious money.
Yeah, yeah, and we just use the tracks in the. I don't remember what you call them. The little wheels inside the tracks. Look here. There's two layers of tape. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Remember, I was telling you how, where I was like making the tape like bunchy, like wetting it a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like they laid a extra piece of tape in there. That's cut there.
This thing's a mess, but it's so interesting.
Yeah, it's a huge mess. We were pretty
I love it though.
excited when we saw this at that celebration. We were like, all four of us. There were people standing behind us wanting to get pictures of this lightsaber here, right? And the four of us are just like climbing all over the glass case like monkeys trying to get pictures of this thing.
Snap. Yeah.
Yep.
We got some great pics though.
Yeah, we did. It was fun. It was a fun build. Especially it was fun to the four of us, talking about it, figuring out what's what. We even had help from other people, like Jason Eaton, and to find some parts. It was a fun build, no, just something cool, little, nothing really complicated. Just, and I mean, Celebration was what, how many months ago? This was
April, May,
April,
June,
right?
July,
So
3 months, 3.5 months. Yeah.
it's only been 3 months since we were in England.
Yeah.
For real. Wow. See, there's 2 layers of tape there. That's weird. Why would you do that? Bizarre. Yeah, I just finally built mine. Who do we got? We still got Kanji Club and Dimitri. That's a new name.
The
How's it going?
Netherlands. Hello, sir.
Thanks for joining us. Say hi to Marvin for us.
Oh, he's in Marvin's part of town.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anything else you want to talk about, Jay?
No, just thought we'd hang out for a minute. I think we're gonna try to line up a few shows. I think we're gonna try to have a few guests on. If I'm saying it right, we got is it JT? JT? JT?
I'm not sure.
Well, this is like a pun, right? JT, JT, John Stewart, but he goes by JT.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're gonna have him on.
we're gonna have him on pretty soon. The thing is,
Are we doing that show on Friday?
what is it?
Are we doing that show on Friday?
I'm not sure yet. That's what I was gonna say. So one of the I would say troubles with having guests with this show is that we do this one technically pretty early in the morning, and trying to align it with a lot of people that are overseas and it's later in the afternoon for them can be a little tricky. Um,
Mhm.
but I know that Andy Preston's going to be joining us pretty soon, which
Yeah.
should be a good chat. Andy's a great guy,
Dude,
and
he's a he's a serious builder. Like,
oh yeah, dude, he's a talented guy, and his builds
yes.
and just the way he explains things, and I feel
Yeah.
like I could pick his brain for hours. When we were at
Yeah.
John Con, I kind of feel bad because I was really soaking up his time, but I was getting a lot out of it. He's just really really knowledgeable, and if anybody who just wants to sit back and enjoy some great videos, what's his YouTube? Is it just on the Andy Preston, or is it something different?
No, it's something different. I have to look.
Yeah, if we can plug that, because just some of his build videos are just great to watch. Even if you're just building something and you have it on in the background, just great stuff to watch. It's funny. Some of his videos I had watched like 2, 3 years ago, and I didn't even put two and two together. I didn't even realize it was him. And then when we met, I was like, "Oh, you're okay." It was one of those moments. But yeah, we'll have him on for a chat, and then we got a couple other guys lined up that
Oh yeah,
um
it's Andy Preston
oh, it
miniature
is Andy
replicas.
Preston.
Yeah.
Okay, Andy Preston miniature replicas, definitely worth a
Oh
watch.
yeah.
And yeah, the only thing is he kind of makes things look a little too easy, so you got to
Yeah.
realize that like
It's us
his
stupid
his
garage.
build level is is definitely, not amateur. Um
He's engineering these pieces. We're just gluing them, slapping them together. There's a big
yeah,
difference. Yeah.
there's a difference there. And then
Yeah.
we get a couple other guests. I don't want to put names out yet, but it's exciting only because they've worked on some of the movies and TV shows and stuff that we all watch and enjoy. So it'll be fun to get some
Yeah.
feedback and get some input from their perspective. So looking forward to that as well.
I have to say, Jason, one of the better guests that we've had on the show, whether it be, you know, Rogue One, pre our past shows, and especially, our model shows, one of the biggest guests we've had so far was Alex Hutchins. Like, he's legit a Pinewood Studios model maker. Like, we've had talent on here, plenty of talent, plenty of great
Yeah.
guys, but he's probably got more street cred in with ILM than anybody else that we've had on yet. So if you haven't watched that show, go back and check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. It's the last one that we did. Alex Hutchings.
Yeah,
He worked
well
on.
spoken, very, very, very easy to just very laid back and easy to talk
Mhm,
to. And yeah,
mhm.
I like Alex a lot, and I think it was great to talk with him, and I'm looking forward to having him back on as well.
Yeah, I mean, he worked on Rogue One. He worked on Andor. He worked on Solo.
Yeah.
He built the U-wing. A couple other pieces from those. Some of our favorite modern Star Wars. I mean, think about Andor, Solo, and Rogue One are probably the best modern Star Wars there is. You know, best thing since the original trilogy. You know, so and the closest in aesthetic to the original trilogy that we've seen yet. You know,
Yeah.
Definitely check him out, and he's kind of opened up a door for us to bring a lot of other guys from Pinewood on the show to have chats and talk. You know, so we're going to be having quite a bit of good things coming up soon. Plus, we also need to do our Return of the Jedi.
That's right, the
episode
Chronicle
2.
section.
Yep, we got 2 down, 1 to go. I got a couple build videos I'm putting up. I just gotta what the heck? I just gotta actually put them together, find time, put them together, and add some music to certain spots. But we have a lot of good things coming up.
Yeah, the Chronicles book's always fun to review. Although we always say, oh, we're only going to do this for half an hour, and 3 hours later we're still going through the pages.
And normally it's 3 hours after that. It's a good thing it's during the day. Otherwise we'd be up the entire night. Like, if I'm not working, it's good because I can just hop on in the morning, and then I'm good for the next like 8 hours. So I have nothing to do. I can just sit and talk shop with, and like John and Marvin, they're freaking awesome to talk to. They're just good guys to have fun. And, it's a lot of fun. We have a good time.
Yeah, I agree.
Not boring like just you and I.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, it's tricky when you get that hotel incident.
Is it bad? Has it been okay?
No, it's not. Honestly, it's not terrible. But I am being cognizant of not talking too much so it doesn't cut you off or confuse you. But it's not terrible. I if it was, I would tell you.
Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, who the hell wants to listen to a show that a couple guys are on and they're boring out to begin with and put people to sleep, but then on top of that, the internet is choppy and bad. So I don't blame people for turning this off if they're listening. But we surprisingly have 11 people listening right now. I don't know if it's just background music or what, but here's a question for you, Jay. What models are you looking forward to doing coming up? Whether it be Merlin kits or just some scratch builds that you're thinking about doing. I mean, you don't have to give away.
That's an interesting.
If there's something,
That's an interesting question. No, that's a really good question. Here's okay. Before I answer that, here's what makes it a little bit of a tricky question for me to answer, right? Some scratch builds that I was looking forward to ended up turning into like work projects, if that makes sense. Like projects meant for other purposes other than just fun builds. And although I learned from them and although I enjoyed them, you enjoy them in a different way. You don't get the excitement or joy of like, hey, I like this thing, it looks cool, and I just want to tackle it. Like I remember the first time I did a training remote from scratch. I had a blast. Like I had an absolute blast. And I'm looking forward and to most people that's nothing special, but I'm using it as an example because I generally had a lot of fun doing it. I'm looking forward to getting back to something like that. And right now, I can't name any specific one ship, although I am looking forward to building a couple Merlin pieces. I think that right now, Chris, the best way to answer that would probably be sinking my teeth into the Archive X contest. Even if I come in dead last, it doesn't matter. I just want to have fun enjoying doing something really unique and out of the box, outside the box,
Yeah.
So
I agree.
that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm trying to. Okay, so I'm doing commissions, and I'm doing it so I can continue collecting, right? So, I'm using that money to go back into my collection, Uh, but I'm finding lately that I feel the pressure of getting those done instead of working on my own stuff. Um, like, uh, like you remember, I was eat, sleeping, breathing my scratch build sandcrawler. I haven't touched it in like 3 weeks. You know, maybe a little more because I shouldn't say I haven't touched it. Every time I get a new kit and I pop a new piece, like 1 or 2 pieces on, and then I put it away. You know, but I really want to get back to my projects. Like I want to finish the sandcrawler. It's a huge one for me. I have a scratch build slave one I want to work on next, and at the same time, I have this concept piece that I've been kicking around for how many, like a year or so now, right? Um,
Yeah.
and and in my defense, I've kind of been waiting to start it until I was pretty proficient at some 3D building because there's some elements to it that I need to build in 3D. And there's also I needed to get my laser cutter because I needed that to cut some stuff for that. But now that I have those two things, it's right there, right?
Yeah.
It's ready to start, and I absolutely I would say so. I'm 1,000,000,000% next year going to Wonderfest. Okay, it's in my head. I'm doing it. Got to happen, and I booked hotel for it
Nice.
already, and I want to have this piece done before then, so I can take it with me. And hopefully you can make it, and hopefully John can make it. I'm really hoping we have a cool, fun road trip, where nobody dies or gets left behind, So, you know, I'm looking forward to that a lot. So I got to get cracking on those and try to put less pressure on myself to get these commissions done, so I can spend more time doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And before with commissions, it was, I was going to make a commission for somebody and make one for myself. And it's now come to the point where I don't want any resin kits. So once Merlin starts releasing some their stuff, once these pieces, come out in a little bit, that may apply again because, like I want to watch, I have a Ewing on where I have snow speeders on where I don't have the Corvette and I don't have the ATSTs on order. But I'm going to do those, which are easier kits to build than let's say a Randy Cooper Sandcrawler, So with that, I'm excited to get back to building and building from my head something brand new that nobody's ever done before, and at least not to my knowledge, they've done it. I've never seen anybody do it, but it's going to be
No, I think
pretty
the
intense.
piece you're working. I think the piece you're working on is really unique.
Yeah. And like I put a lot of thought into how I'm going to do it, and there's a lot of elements like all those files out of those STL files I've been buying just to decorate this piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. Hopefully it turns out as nice as it is in my head, but we'll see. We'll get there. I'm looking forward to doing that. And I probably won't show it or announce it or do anything with it until it's pretty close to being done. I'm going to video it and save it and then release, the build on, through installments once it's done. I don't want to put it up until it's ready. So which is odd for me because I do a lot of build videos and show what I do. So not a lot, but something. So you should do some, Jason. Help add some content.
What did you say?
I said you should start doing some build videos too.
I've actually, believe it or not, I filmed a few. They're
Did you?
yeah, working a camera isn't my forte though. Plus, I mean, when you're in the zone and you're working on something, it's hard to be, mindful
Oh yeah.
of where you're placing a camera,
Oh
where
yeah.
you're placing lighting and things like that. But I've done a few. I've just haven't gotten a chance to really tie it together or edit it together.
Yeah. Like this Macquarie X-wing I'm doing. I have to remind myself to go and put the camera on because I painted it black and then I painted it white. And I was like, oh shit, I want to show that how I did that. Like that it was black and white. But I mean, you could say it as just as easily. But it's pain in the ass to like try to plan it out how you're gonna video and work at the same time. So sometimes you just going and you're in the zone and you don't even notice what you're doing. You're like, oh shit, I should have videotaped that. So Dimitri, what did he say here? Creative kit bashing is a whole different ball game as doing a studio scale model, like you said, Jason. Yeah, it's way different. I love it. Like I said, all my model collection now is all scratch build stuff. There's no resin kits anymore. That's all gone. All
That's such a great thing to be able
yeah.
to say too.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that would never happen. But it is. Everything I have now is scratch built. Everything. From other people as well, too. Like I said before, I like getting, even though I can build these things, I really like getting things that other people have built. Just so I could see it means something to me, because most of these people that I get things from are my friends. Or I know decently, enough that I could say, I'm acquaintances with them. Just to get how they built things, how they painted things, give yourself a new perspective on how to do these things. The only one I don't have something built from is you. You're the only one I don't have a piece built from.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, I lose you. I bet his phone died. But yeah, his phone probably died. So, I mean, if anybody has any questions in the chat, let me know. Until Jason either drops on or we will just kind of end it here. Like I said, this was just a get together, just shooting the ship and talking about things. So nothing in particular. Hopefully we didn't bore you too badly. But yeah, I think he died. His phone died. So all right. Well, Stuart, thanks for joining us. Dimitri, thanks for joining us. Country Club. Hopefully you're all there. Star Wars Addict. Oh, he's back. I thought your phone died.
I was joking. I was right when it cut out. I said you can't afford my work.
Come on, man.
No,
You're supposed to.
I do got to get a piece of mine into your collection.
You gotta give it to your friends, not sell it to your friends. That's the better thing to do.
Yeah, but what am I gonna give you? Something with the vintage cool shade or something with like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Vintage cool shade. That'll work. That'll work. I'll tell you one thing I do want from you. I want your tie. That's what I want.
Yeah,
That is the one. That is one thing out of you that you have built that interests me the most.
yeah. If I've had a lot of people, I've not a lot. I've had 3 people ask me for that tie so far.
Yeah, I get first dibs. First dibs.
I gotta say, I'm pretty confident in my skills at this point, but it's kind of like your slave one, you know. I know how you're always like afraid that you'll never be able to get it as good as the first one,
Mhm,
'cause, like you just nailed that out of the park. Um,
mhm,
I just feel like that tie was something that like I don't know, I just nailed it. Like I just nailed it, and I
mhm.
just every aspect of it, I just knocked it out of the park, and it's just one of those weird things where everything went right, and yeah, I feel like I won't be able to repeat that if I built another one.
I legitimately worry that that the next slave one I do, which is a better piece. Okay, let's just put it out there. Like I had the nice and resin kit, and it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work to make it look good. But my computer's gonna die soon. But because I don't have my charge cord, I forgot my charge cord at home. But I do legitimately worry that uh, I'm not gonna paint it as good as the first one. So I'm hoping I do. But and everybody keeps telling me, you get better with time. You get better with time. But like sometimes you did something perfect to yourself. I mean, it might not be perfect to other people, but for me, this one was done perfectly and to my standards. Um, and I hope I did a good job in the next one. We'll see. But I can tell you right now, my computer's going to die, so we might as well cut this out.
Yeah, sounds good.
And just so you guys know, keep watching. We're going to have a bunch of shows coming up soon. They're going to be a lot of morning shows because they're people overseas. So, I'm sure a lot of people won't be able to watch it live, but they can watch it later on in the evening or whatever. So, all right. Good night, guys. Thanks for joining
Have a
us.
good night.
Thanks, Jason, for coming on.
Definitely.
And we are out.